Hello horse racing fans, and welcome to another review of Uma Musume. I reviewed the first season right as I was entering college as a freshman. Now as I make this video, I'm about to be a senior in college. Sorry it took so long, but with the Uma Musume game being released in the States to huge acclaim, making the series even more popular than it already was, I figure it's time to return to the show. So for those who are watching this channel purely for Uma Musume, hi, my name's Nathan, and I work in the horse racing industry, mainly as a racetrack announcer. Skibbity Riz gets sent right to the early lead. And in my spare time, I make horse racing videos on this YouTube channel, including reviewing horse racing media like Uma Musume. With no time to waste, I binge-watched Season 2 in about 3 days. This established how the show was going to continue after the story of Special Week was over. The answer was pretty simple. While the first season focused on the great 1998 Japanese racing season, this season focuses on the horses that ran from 1991 to 1993. At this point in Japan's racing history, the Heisei 3, Oguri Cap, Inari 1, and Super Creek had retired, and a new generation of champions emerged, primarily Mejiro McQueen and Tokai Teio. Tokai Teio being the focus in this season. So how is it? Well, let's find out. Also, spoilers ahead for the whole season. No stone will be left unturned. You have been warned. No easier place to start than the story. The story mainly revolves around Tokai Teio, a horse well known for great talent but also great setbacks. After winning the first 2 jewels of the Triple Crown undefeated, they seem on their way to matching their sire, or in the show, idol, Symboli Rudolph. But they get injured and are unable to compete in the 3rd jewel. Despite an initially successful return as an older horse, they lose their unbeaten streak and then get injured multiple times, leading to their greatest comeback in the McQueen, a race they win after not running since the previous year's McQueen exactly a year earlier, where they had finished 11th. Alongside her is greatest rival and friend, Mejiro McQueen. Through their strong rivalry, they keep pushing each other to do better and better, but fate always seems to have other plans, constantly derailing their goals, mainly by getting them hurt before important moments in their careers. On the sidelines, you get a few other subplots, like other teams trying to beat the protagonist team, or a brief detour to help Rice Shower overcome her guilt from spoiling a Triple Crown. Not all stories are created equal here. The ones that get the most screen time, Tokai Teio and Mejiro McQueen, certainly have enough drama to carry a season, and are semi-loyal to the accuracy of the real-life counterparts, including their many setbacks. But it felt disjointed, and towards the end, it really started to get repetitive. It moves at a pretty brisk pace through Tokai Teio's career. By episode 6, she's ran in 11 of her 12 lifetime races. All that remains after Tokai Teio loses the 1992 McQueen is her return the following year to win the race exactly a year later, with no races in between. This mirrors real life, but this 1 year lasts 7 episodes, while the first 2 years of her career and other characters' careers lasted just 6 episodes. So to fill out the time, they start doing other things while continuing the main story. Some of these detours are the best parts of the whole season. Others are the worst. Unfortunately, during this second half, the main story really starts to repeat itself. Training, preparing for the big race, something isn't right, the doctor comes in and delivers bad news, characters cry a lot. But then, after a dramatic monologue from a teammate about how much they've inspired them to never give up because of them, the hurt horse girl rallies and tries to come back again. Rinse repeat. I understand the drama is serious, so of course characters are going to be emotional, but if you use strong emotions like crying too much, it starts to lose its original effect, especially during the most important and dramatic moments later on. It's a good story, but when you have the same drama beats enough times, you do start to feel a bit fatigued. Considering their loyalty to the careers of these horses, they didn't have a lot of wiggle room, so I can't fully blame the repetitiveness, but it's just an unfortunate byproduct when you tell the story of horses who get injured a lot. Still, it wrapped up very nicely with Tokai Teio's win in the McQueen. Compared to the first season, I'd say the story is slightly better. They are very similar, of course, but Season 1 feels like the prototype, with Season 2 being a 2.0 version, telling a vaguely similar story but polishing it off and removing some of Season 1's worst parts. We now know how the formula works, so less time is needed establishing our world. It's still goofy and over the top, but now that I know what to expect, it was a lot easier for me to sit through it and appreciate it. What makes or breaks this show? The characters. Starting with our protagonist, Tokai Teio, like Special Week, she was just alright. Being a main character, you are kind of forced to make her comparatively neutral because you can't have a horse as crazy as Goldship lead a full season. But she isn't uninteresting. I liked the first half of the story where she had two clear goals: become a Triple Crown winner, stay undefeated, and then failing at both, causing her to rethink everything she ever thought since she was a little girl. But that's all done in 6 episodes, and so the pacing critiques from earlier rear their ugly head. Most of her personality is typical: ambitious, competitive, joyful, but a little foolish. I found her so forgettable in Season 1, I actually forgot she was even in it. In Season 2, however, her challenges were interesting. But after Episode 6, I feel like her arc took a back seat and made things a bit disjointed. It's not all bad. Being forced to do other things than just training for races in the later half was a much needed break, but it wasn't perfect. Mejiro McQueen, the cool royal, was a side character for Goldship to play off in Season 1. Now she's been promoted, from injuring eyeballs to Tokai Teio's rival. Compared to Silent Suzuka, she isn't as strong, but that's just because Silent Suzuka was the best protagonist in that season. Mejiro has her moments. Her competitive calmness but ambition to live up to royal expectations was good, but I found other characters more interesting, plain and simple. For my favorite side characters, besides the obvious Goldship, who is always number 1, Rice Shower was the best by a long margin. Similar to Grass Wonder in Season 1, they show her story in the background, and then give it a chance to shine in the second half. For Rice Shower, it occurs in Episodes 7 and 8. The focus is on getting her to re-enter the Tenosho Spring after she vows to never run again. In the previous year, Rice Shower defeated Mihono Bourbon in the Kikuka Show, the last jewel of the Triple Crown, denying Bourbon the chance to be an undefeated Triple Crown winner. Because of this, she is painted as the heel, the villain, for winning, destroying everything she ever thought about racing. Now Mejiro McQueen has the chance to win 3 Tenosho Springs, make history, and once again, Rice Shower stands in the way of history. A really interesting concept, completely untouched in the show up until that point. We've seen a hero's journey to victory, but what happens when you do everything right and are seen as the bad guy because you won? I appreciated each character's involvement. Mejiro McQueen being honorable enough to encourage her greatest threat to race and accepting the consequences of that decision for the sake of winning the right way. And especially Mihono Bourbon, a great chemistry she has with Rice Shower, looking up to her because she did what no one else could: defeat her. A lot of interesting dynamics and great competitive spirit, instead of the more comedic competitive rivalries that are in the majority of the show. And the way Rice Shower is shown running in the Tenosho with the literal aura glowing around her actually gave me goosebumps. Really, really well done, but kind of blows the rest of the season out of the water. I can confidently say Episodes 7 and 8 are my favorite of the entire series so far. The rest of the side characters I didn't really care for, and feel like a means to an end. They're designed creatively, but like with Season 1, a lot have just one quirk and that's all you got. Some talk street, some look like sharks, some are nerdy, so on and so forth. The main characters did an alright job, but lost some steam in the second half, giving us a chance to interact with OK Side comic release and complete show stealers. A slightly better cast than last season. In comparison to the first season, which dropped me into a crazy world I had a hard time fully accepting, Season 2 was a nice continuation of the formula, streamlining the formula and giving us a new cast of characters to enjoy. The first 8 episodes had some of my favorite episodes of the entire series, with Episodes 9 and 12, while far from terrible, started to feel more the same and wore me down. But it finished strongly, and genuinely impressed me on certain occasions. As a horse racing fan, I'm going to always just prefer real-life racehorses, but I can see why people like the show, and can find some real enjoyment and good storytelling in this odd semi-biographical show. For all of that, I give Uma Musume Season 2 a 7 out of 10. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. For the future, I do plan on continuing to make videos about Japanese racehorses and just racehorses in general, so I hope you stick around to learn more about the sport I love dear. As for reviewing more of the show, I do hope to do a double review of the mini-series Road to the Top and the movie Beginning of a New Era, before I think about tackling Season 3, or Cinderella Grey, which I've heard is the best season of the show. If you have other horse shows, animes, movies, whatever media you wish to see me review, please let me know in the comment section below. See you guys next time.